Okay, quickly gonna go over what we were watching today. We were watching Morgan Stanley long above 37.77, didn't hit. Lorillard above 71.25, didn't hit. Hasbro HAS above 66.30. Now that one hit, but it didn't give us our setup, and I didn't take it. So this isn't one that I took. It was great, it was a good look, but it didn't really give us a setup until way up high. Volume and everything was good. Did throw it out in the room, but again, we didn't get the setup that we want, therefore we didn't take it. And sometimes that's going to happen. It's just like, sometimes you're going to see a stock ripping up, just like, for example, LNKD. Now, some members in the room did take this trade today and made money on it. However, it did not give us that super solid setup. And I'll show you right here where JS Trader put this in the room. And let's see, right here at 246. And then I mentioned also that it looked like really good news. Where are we at? I mentioned this LNKD was big news, so I knew it was going to pop good. And JS Trader, again, the time he gave it to us is at 146. So that was right here on this first bar. And I want to say that he had this at 256. It rips up all the way to 265. Now, this didn't give us the setup that I wanted, so I didn't take it. But he had it early enough to where you could get in, and we actually did have one member that made some money on it. He didn't make as much as he could have, and he admitted it was his own fault. Was up 1,200 on LinkedIn, sold it for 600 profit. So, you can make money waiting for the setups. Now, I'll show you why I didn't trade our 5-minute setup. Everything has to check, like I always go over, and if you pull up your day chart on LinkedIn, you're going to see that it went up and tagged descending resistance to the penny, pretty much, and then pulled in. So I'm not interested, right? If it gets back above descending resistance, gives us our 5-minute setup, I'd be interested in it. We were watching Gene long, which Gene I did make a trade on, was a small profit. The entry on this, we were watching this long above 574, and it had a little 5-minute setup and ripped above that level. We got long, ripped about to $6, and I basically got out of this with about 10-cent gain, which is not what I wanted at all, but it's what it gave us, okay? And I knew that it was going to reverse, and what I said in the morning was if you had shares to short, it's going to be a better short than it is a long, but I figured that it would spike through $6 and we would be able to sell from 575, and it never got through 6. We could have made 25 cents on it. Never got through 6, but nonetheless, it was still a decent trade here. Groupon, we were watching long above 751. Now, this was just hovering. It did not give us our setup again. So that's the beautiful thing about the system is that you wait for your setup. It's not just get long above 751. It's the stocks above 751. It gives us a setup, which we go over in the quick start guide. Then we get long. RCL short. Now, I did just mention this in the chat room about 5 minutes ago right here. And it's not something that I traded in the afternoon. Where are we at? If anybody absolutely has to be in a stock, I also like RCL. RCL short. Okay, and that's how we went over it in the morning, was shorting. And I threw it out there up here, and it's slowly dropping, and we'll see what happens to the close. I have not been trading the afternoons because they have been so dead, and there's just no point unless there's crazy good news. All right, and then we were watching Halliburton long, HAL. When I caught this, was right here. We went over this right in the morning, played the break of this bar, this 4801 bar, and was selling right into the highs. And I got the high level. I mentioned that it was probably going to spike over this level right here, this 4874 level, and that's where we wanted to sell into, and it hit 4883 high and then pulled in. So great trade on Halliburton. Again, the volume was the key on that one. My other big trade was Icon short, ICON, which is still tanking. And, I could have left a stop in here at break even and still had some, but we were shorting right here on this bar. It immediately tanked, came in. I added when it popped up right here. You can't really see it, but it did actually pop up right here. I added more at 28, kept my stop in, and then was covering through the lows right here. Now, this would obviously been a great thing to hold all day, but one thing you have to understand when you're day trading, you're never going to get the entire move. But if you can catch $1 on a $28 stock, that's a pretty big move, right? 80 cents on a $28 stock. That's a pretty big percentage gain to be in something for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, right? So if you can make those kind of percentage gains, you're going to make a lot of money. All right. My one loser today was NYMX. We had the news. It actually looked like it was really going to go. Now, I killed this before the stop. So I didn't let the stop hit. I saw this coming back up. I thought this was going to rip through the highs. Day chart was set up really nice for a move to the 190s. And then as soon as it started pulling in right here, I killed it early. And if you know it's going to hit your stop, if you have a pretty good feeling it's going to hit your stop, don't let there be a disconnect between what you're thinking is going to happen and then the actions that you're making. If you think it's going to hit the stop and you're pretty sure it's going to hit the stop, then get out of the stock. Don't just say, okay, well, I'm just going to let it get stopped out, right? Saving 5 cents on 10,000 shares is $500. So this trade, initially had a lot of liquidity. Liquidity's kind of drying up right now. But that's all I really traded today. Again, everything is based on that day chart being set up, and we're looking for the big profits. We got 2 nice trades, 1 okay trade, and a small loser. And I'll take that any day of the week. So hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow in the chat room, and we will be able to knock it out of the park again tomorrow. Again, if you have any questions, you can email me, Kavan@tradewithkavan.com. Thank you.